The stock market is rigged, and today, October 17th, Wall Street pulled off one of their favorite scams. They gapped QQQ and SPY up big time based on TSMC whatever's earnings, and then totally crushed everyone. Tomorrow's Friday the 18th. It's OPEX. This is just Wall Street 101. Now, let's look at the option flow and how the session worked if you were trading using rigged AI. First thing, what do you get right here? You get a 249 bear with edge, 47.24% win rate. And it's a good trade. It's not an amazing trade because why? You're only getting 100%. You would expect to get more. You didn't. That's okay. The important thing when you're trading, when you're using rigged, is just knowing that, hey, this comes in at 9:30:24. Session just opened. At what time is this even? 9:37. 7 minutes later, or 9:38, 8 minutes later, you are at 493. And what is 493, people? That is 3 strikes down. That is the danger zone. I know that volume is high, right? So we expect to go beyond 3 strikes because you're at 131%. But you have to know, just by looking at this thing, right, that, hey, we just went down 3 strikes in 8 minutes. It's probably due for a little bit of relief. And there was, right? Here we go. And we bounce right above 494, 2 strikes down. And then boom, a nuke again. And this is the crazy part, or this is a beautiful part, however you want to say it. You get awesome tags here at 492. This is a bull swing that eventually goes for 109% up to here. You get KTR filling right here. And, it's not bad because if you're trading this, as soon as we fail to break 493 to 494, just take the money and run. Take the money and run. If you did that, absolutely perfect, or even better, we said this one in Discord right here. We actually took 495, and that was our best trade of the session. When you see volume coming down like this, it looked, dropping from 124 to 100. Typically, that means like, hey, the move is done. They give up, right? And we're going to mean revert. Volume's low, the algos are just going to take over. Wall Street's not actively trading it anymore. But if we follow tradability and more strategy updates are coming to the app UI soon, when you don't break above this 495, it's going to keep going down, right? Because down move, draw the arrow, up move, the swing. If you don't break right here and push to the blue line, it is going to go down. And if you're trading this thing, you had plenty of opportunity to get out. Or if you're better at trading than us and most people, you bought puts in here. Because here we fail to break 495 and you're just sitting at 494. And if you look at trading view, whatever, it really looks like it's going to go. It really looks like it's going to nuke, but you just have to know your position, right? We are down from the blue line, right? We're 2 strikes down. When you're at 2, you always expect to go to 3. And look, what happens? You go to 3 before dropping, and this thing just closes out all the way down here, right at 5 strikes down. That was the session on QQQ. There were a couple good trades here later. You're getting KTR fills down here. 55%, 35 minutes. It's not bad. But just know, hey, if you're trading against the trend and the trend is down, right? Because you're all the way down here, you're in the yellow zone, short swings. Not every session can be like 9/11, which we'll pull it up. This was the craziest, and we were hoping for it today. We were hoping for it. You know, most sessions do not look like this, where you go down 8 strikes and then just, right? You just fly, and the bulls here are returning 10x in one session if you bought and held until the end. That is going deep into the red bearish. That is going insanely into the red bullish. Haven't seen anything like that. Don't expect it. Basically, when we get here and you do not break higher, it's got to be, hey, this thing is coming back down, right? Go back to 9/11. So this is about the same range, right? You pull back a little bit, you get a bunch of tags, and then it just goes. Because here, what is this? 1157 to 1207, you're getting 3 strikes. That thing is pushing. That is pushing. Okay? 3 strikes in 10 minutes. That's a sign this thing is probably going to hit the blue and keep going. Today, you know, what do we go? We go up 3, but it takes 11:04 until, 12:04. That's an hour. That's a long time. And when you get here and you don't just fly, to 496 to the blue line, it is coming back down. Let's look at SPY. What do we have here? Right? You're looking at the first bear bomb with edge. It has probability, a 39.46% win rate. And guess what? If you traded it and held until the end of the session, you're getting 95%. That is fantastic. Not amazing, not mind-blowing, but pretty dang good. Here's the thing. When this thing comes in, this is a little bit scary, right? Because it's like, hey, we already moved down. The blue line is basically the 586 strike. That's just what Wall Street loves to do. And then boom, this is coming in, 1.78 below the blue. So that's a big deal. If you took it quickly, you're able to get this, but just there's a little bit of a bounce. If you use KTR, KTR for this one fills here. Oh, wow. Okay, this is even crazier. So you get KTR on, I'll move this thing. So you get KTR for this bear bomb at 940 right here. And that's beautiful because look at this thing. There's no drawdown and you get 2, strike and a half almost immediately. Beautiful. You're following the price action. Volume is, it's okay at 100%. Then the way to think about that, once again, we're bringing this into the application, is that, hey, you want to follow it until 3. And you can see 3 strikes, right? We make it very easy. It's right here. You follow it to 3. You make money on this quickly. These are late right here. Okay, you could have filled KTR here and made some money again. But this one is really, really good. This is really interesting. First, killer alert, right? Killer alert, because this is at the bottom. You are right below 3 strikes, which we know is basically the limit, especially on lower volume. And then you pump right back up. So you're down minus, in that 1 to 2 range. Just like on QQQ, fail to break higher and it eventually nukes. And if you're a gangster, you are taking this right here. This is KTR. And the only reason why you're looking at this one is because when an option alert has edge, that means it is likely to continue happening at whatever percent is there. All this is telling us is 39.46% of the time, it returns over 100%. And KTR is telling us, hey, when this thing wins, if it draws down, if it's a winner and it draws down, this is typically where it draws down to. And if we're looking at this thing, you're getting 221%, 222 even, but 200% buying and holding, because this is the move up and this is when KTR hits. That is a perfect example of KTR working like a charm, right? We're already telling you, like, you don't need to know, hey, when this is an alert, you want to trade, you want to get into, okay, get into it a little bit late, get into it here. Hey, let's hit KTR when that comes up. And that is absolutely an amazing trade. They closed this thing a little bit below 3 strikes, but nothing too crazy. Let's jump over and look at IWM. IWM was not amazing to us today, mostly because for the first time ever, we bought a couple calls and had them in the morning and got absolutely thrashed on them. But look at this. So none of these have edge. Okay, so none of them have probability, but that's a 37.74% win rate, and that's the same thing, right? Because these are very close to each other. Now, this had a significant drawdown. IWM is wild, but we bounce down to 2 strikes. And this is like, you got to pay attention to what's happening at the strikes. You get to 225 and you do not nuke below it, it's going to go higher. It's going to bounce back a little bit. And that's what happened today. Overall, when you're looking at IWM for today, look at this. Volume's 84.09%. That means nightmare mode, probably garbage to trade. And it's just like, was this good in any way? Would you call this good? Would we call it good? No. Were there good trades to take? Yes. I mean, that's pretty awesome. You're returning 90-something percent. 96.86% buying and holding until the end. Not terrible, not amazing, but that is how it goes. Close it out really quickly. This is a long one. You're looking at all the alerts from the 17th. You can see that in our strategy playground, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a decent amount of good returns. And what I want to point out, and this is like if you're going to watch anything, pay attention to anything, minus 1.59 is yellow. Yellow means caution. Could be good, could be bad. And guess what? One of them, perfect. Drawdown 10%, returns 200. This is a little bit, and guess what? It still crushes it, but not as much as this. Green, minus 0.62, below the blue line, you're getting 155% or 117. Another, boom, green. You are at an advantage based off of historical data and all this, whatever. Okay, well, what happened? Draw down 22%, it goes for 118 or 96.86%, holding until the end of the session. Now, more importantly, is when you see this thing and it's red, you gotta have maximum fear. It's like, look, red, minus 3.18. There's absolutely no, you gain 10% and then it just bad. minus 3.16, same thing. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Will this always work? Absolutely not, but it's designed to let you know whether you're at an advantage or disadvantage based off of historical data, blah, 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 blah. So you can see this, all these yellows, it should be pretty mixed. And it's kind of like caution, warning, who knows what's going to happen. And when you see green, it should be good. You're either neutral or you're at an advantage. Minus 0.62 when volume's 107.77% and it's 9:34 in the morning. That wins 47.37% of the time, 72% in the last 30 days. Frickin' perfect trade. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely amazing. We'll see you guys tomorrow for OPEX, which is either going to be like amazing to trade or terrible, and that's Fridays. So come ready. There's been tons and tons of early good trades. Let's hope we can run it back tomorrow. AMD, NVIDIA, Tesla, they're all 0 DTE. Let's go.